The New York Rangers have been playing some pretty awful hockey as of late, but in today's video, we're going to take a look at some prospects here who definitely have a very high upside and could eventually make a big impact on this New York Rangers team and truly make this Rangers squad a true Stanley Cup contending team. So let's take a look at some of these prospects in today's video at the college level. And some of these players are off to some phenomenal starts, and we do have three prospects in today's video that are projected to possibly make the 2025 Team USA World Junior Team as well. So let's get right into it here. Starting off with the best prospect, you could say, currently in the system. Definitely the best prospect at the college level for the New York Rangers, and one of the better college players just in general at the NCAA level for hockey, and that is Gabe Perau. This player is truly remarkable. He is off to a phenomenal start once again this season, looking like just an elite college player. He is a dynamic offensive threat, and so far for Boston College this season, he has been lighting things up. He's got so far 12 games played, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 total points. Not too bad at all. He's been playing some really great hockey, beating some good teams there. Obviously, Boston College is one of the better teams in all of college hockey once again this season, but Gabe is just such a talented offensive threat. His vision, playmaking ability, just his overall kind of offensive hockey IQ. When he has that puck, he knows exactly where his teammates are going to be. He can make some truly filthy passes, whether it's backhand, forehand, no look. He's just such a talented playmaker, and he is someone that I would say truly has kind of top line upside. And with his overall talent ability, if he can continue to develop his game and really just become a more complete player, he could be an elite player at the NHL level one day. Now, he's got a long way to go before that, obviously, but he's got the talent there. It's all about just kind of getting it all together now and doing it at the NHL level and pro level, obviously. Whether or not he does make the jump to the NHL right away, which I would imagine he probably does. Now, we'll have to wait and see. Very well could end up just kind of going to play with Hartford at the end of this season there for a few games there, but at the NHL level, he very well could be a guy who ends up making the jump right away. You never know. It is a possibility, but I wouldn't be too shocked if he did play a couple games with Hartford at the end of the season there and then kind of begin the NHL season in 2025, 2026, next season with the New York Rangers main squad. But 18 points in 12 games played is not bad at all. Last season had 60 points in 36 games played, 41 assists, 19 goals. He's looking like an elite player once again, and definitely will be a massive part of the Team USA World Junior squad. He is a log. He's going to make that team for sure. He's going to be one of the top guys to be on that top power play unit for sure. It's pretty much a guarantee. It's just about kind of what he can do there, but I'm sure he'll have another great tournament where he'll definitely be a big part in helping Team USA look to win back-to-back gold medals. Next up here, we have another Boston College player who is a New York Rangers draft pick, and that is Drew Fortescue, who also played for the World Junior team just like Gabe Perau did last season there, helping them win that gold medal, and I thought was one of the better Team USA defensemen at that tournament as well. So he was really great there, put up 4 points in 7 games played, and also last season had 8 points in 40 games played, 4 goals, 4 assists with Boston College last season at the NCAA level. Now, this season so far, offensively, maybe has been a little disappointing, you could say. 12 games played, only 2 points there. Hasn't kind of taken that step up offensively, really, but he's still someone who's playing a really good, reliable defensive game, and that is something that we definitely know we could use more of on this Rangers team. He can move the puck a bit there, which is a big positive in his game as well, but just be that reliable, more defensive defenseman with a bit of an offensive game here and there, but for the most part, just be that reliable kind of shutdown D-man, which he definitely has been so far this season for Boston College. And next up here, we have the New York Rangers' most recent first-round pick from the 2024 NHL Draft, taken with the 30th overall pick, and that is the 6'3" right-handed defenseman, EJ Emery. Now, this is a player who has some really good overall talent. His skating ability and kind of athleticism is through the roof. It's truly elite there. He's got some great skating ability, which is a very nice thing to have for someone who is 6'3" there, a right-handed defenseman. He's got that size, but also has that skating ability, which not a lot of players of his size do have. So that's great there. He's a really mobile defenseman, but he also is known for having a really good kind of shutdown defensive game. He can be a penalty killing kind of guy, but just be a really good, more defensive defenseman with that great skating ability there. Now, he can move the puck a bit there, but the offensive game and kind of puck moving is not phenomenal and definitely needs some work. But in general, that defensive game is really good there with that skating ability, that speed, the athleticism, agility, edge work, all that stuff there. Anything to do with his skating ability, it is pretty much elite there. He is a great skater, especially for his size. And this is someone who is definitely going to need a few years out at the college level before he even has a chance to really play in the AHL, I would say. He's definitely kind of a raw prospect, but has the talent to, I think, truly be a top 4 caliber defenseman for years and years to come. He definitely could end up having a pretty big impact on this New York Rangers team, especially if he can kind of round out a bit of his offensive game as well and become a bit better there, a bit better puck mover as well. That could be a big thing for his development long term. So I'm excited to see kind of what he can do going forward. But the 18-year-old defenseman who's not turned 19 until late March also has the chance to possibly end up making the Team USA 2025 World Junior team as well, alongside Drew Fortescue and Gabe Perau, who are pretty much locks. EJ is kind of on the edge looking in, I would say, something around there, but definitely is a guy who could possibly end up making the team. We'll have to wait and see. But, Drew and kind of Gabe are pretty much locks, whereas EJ will be fighting for a spot there, but definitely could end up making the team there. Drew made it as an 18-year-old last season. Same thing with Gabe, so it definitely is possible he does end up making the team and could end up having a pretty big impact. But so far this season with the University of North Dakota at the NCAA level, he has 13 games played so far, only 1 assist. He's a +5, 8 penalty minutes, and so far, I think he's playing a good defensive game there. North Dakota's a solid team, but obviously he's not putting up those great point totals, which he never really has. He's more known as, like I said, truly a defensive defenseman, so don't worry about those offensive numbers too much there. He's playing his first season there. He's a freshman at the D1 level there, so it's not the easiest jump there from the National Development Program to the University of North Dakota, but he's at a pretty good program there who's developed some solid NHLers in the past, and so far 1 point, 13 games played isn't amazing, but it's his defensive game and his skating ability that is kind of why he was obviously a first-round pick, so don't worry about those offensive numbers too much there. He's still a really solid player and definitely a great prospect and someone to keep an eye on who could possibly end up making the Team USA squad as well. And now we've got a couple more prospects to take a look at here today who are a bit older than, EJ, Gabe, and Drew are. Definitely can't make the World Junior team because they're aged out, but these are still some very solid prospects here, and someone who I think is very underrated even still is Noah Labbe. This is someone who I think truly has the potential to be a great, almost maybe shut down defensive kind of two-way center at the NHL level, and I think it really projects to be a really solid middle six center at the NHL level. If everything kind of go together there, he has a potential to be a great two-way center somewhere in that middle six, probably more of a kind of high-end maybe third-line guy or something around the kind of third-line spot, maybe a second-liner, but I think could be the perfect kind of third-line center for this New York Rangers team in a season or two possibly. This is someone who, as of right now, is 21 years old, turning 22 in August, so it's not like he's necessarily old. He's a 6'2", 192-pound right-handed shot centerman, former 4th-round pick, number 111 overall by the Rangers at the 2022 NHL Draft. Ended up helping Team USA a couple seasons ago win a bronze medal at the World Juniors, but he is a really talented prospect. The offensive numbers that he put up last season were great, but it's just all-around kind of two-way game, the physical play that he has as well, and kind of mixed in with that offensive play that makes me kind of think that he has the potential to be that kind of a guy at the NHL level, being that kind of middle six, kind of two-way shutdown centerman. And last season ended up kind of being by far their best player, which was definitely nice to see. He led that team in points by quite a few there. He was 9 points above the next closest player, and then after that was 17 above the third highest point producer on that Colorado team. So he was definitely the best player on that team last season. Now this one, he's had some other players around him kind of take a bit of a step up, but it still seems like he has been the best player on that team, which is great to see as he is a junior. He's in his 3rd season with that team. So it is nice to see him still being that top player pretty much on the team, but definitely keep an eye on him going forward because I think he has a very high ceiling. Next up, we've got a very interesting prospect that he is someone who kind of took a big step up this season so far in his overall development. It seems like he's only 21 years old, turning 22 in late August. Still a pretty young prospect there, was taken in the 4th round, number 104 overall in the 2021 NHL draft, and that is Brody Lamb, the 6'1" right winger, and so far this season is looking like a really great prospect. He's taken a big step up in his overall kind of point production last season there with the University of Minnesota. Ended up having 39 games played, 12 goals, 15 assists, 27 points, decent numbers there in his second season at the college level. But then this season so far has 14 points, 9 goals, 5 assists, and only 13 games played. So he's off to a great start to begin this season. He's looking like a bit of a steal possibly, and he was one of the younger players taken in that 2021 NHL draft. So he's someone who may be a bit of a kind of slower developer, but obviously is starting to come along here. Last season put up some good numbers there, and now this season is putting up some great numbers, being over a point per game for this Minnesota team, and is obviously someone who can't make the World Junior team because he's aged out now, but he is someone to keep an eye on going forward. He's taken a big step up in his development. He's got some good goal scoring ability there. Decent playmaking, but the goal scoring is definitely something to keep an eye on there. He's had a really great season. 9 goals in 13 games played at the D1 level is not bad at all. So I think this is someone to definitely keep an eye on going forward. And he is someone who also, just like some of these other players, well, mainly Labbe there and Gabe Perau, will probably end up having a chance to play a couple games there with the Hartford Wolfpack squad at the end of his college season. But definitely a really talented offensive threat there on the wing. Maybe doesn't have the kind of top line upside like someone like Gabe Perau does, but possibly end up being somewhere in that middle 6 potentially. You never know, but definitely has a bit of upside there and some pretty good goal scoring ability as well. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. It helps the channel a ton, and I would really, really appreciate it. It's also free to do, so definitely do that if you enjoy some New York Rangers content. But also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on this kind of New York Rangers college prospect update here. If you want to see more videos like this, kind of talking about prospects, the New York Rangers, obviously, and scouting reports and kind of player reports and kind of updates just involving these prospects, definitely comment down below and like this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one, and let's go Rangers.